Datta Sri Guru Datta Jai Guru 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 Datta Sri Guru Datta.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Padavallabha Narasimha Saraswati, Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Sadgurubhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Guru Datta and welcome to Datta Arpanam with your hosts Rishi Nirvan Baru
and Ravita Singh. Jai Guru Datta, Swagatam, and thank you for tuning in to Datta Arpanam, a showcase of the life, music and teachings of His Holiness Parama Pujya Dr. Shri 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 Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji of Avadhuta Dattapitam in Mysuru. Today's program begins with the offering of pranams, gratitude, and this invocation prayer at the sacred feet of beloved Sadgurudeva Pujya Shri Swamiji, as this program, possible only through His divine grace, is offered to him. Please join His second-in-command, Pujya Shri 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 Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji now in worship.
Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Shri Saraswatyai Namaha, Shri Padavallabha Narasimha Saraswati, Shri Guru Dattatreya Namaha, Shri Ganapati Satchidananda Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gururdevo Maheshwarah, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Bhuyuta Shri Hari Chinnhitabhyam Agastya Rekhadi Bhiranchitabhyam Nigodha Bijakshara Mudritabhyam Namo Namah Sadguru Padukabhyam. Ganapati Gurumekam Satchidanandarupam Vibhudhanivahasevyam Yogamargadhirudham Sharanamupagatanam Sanghadrivajram Mama Hridaya Nivasam Bhaktinamro Namami Bhakti Namro Namami.
Once again everyone, Swagatam, and thank you for tuning in to this morning's episode of Datta Arpanam. Today's program is being brought to you through the kind courtesy of Ramlal Educational Institute of number 12 Exchange Lots Couva, Valini's Drug Mart Limited of 58-60 Sutton Street, San Fernando, Debe Supermart Limited of 182 SS Erin Road, Debe, and Koke Supermart Limited of 40 Napariama Miaro Road, San Fernando.
Today, Sunday, February 2nd, 2025, is a very auspicious day. Today, Vasanta Panchami or Saraswati Jayanti is celebrated. That word Saraswati means knowledge which flows like an ocean. And think about it, without knowledge, we have no way of knowing what is coming. We have no knowledge of how to identify what our flaws are, no way of knowing how to fix said flaws, and we lack the know-how of how to turn our thoughts inwards and discover who we really are or who the true self is.
And it is not worldly knowledge which is being spoken about here. The material world, being unreal, is subject to change. Knowledge about it is also, therefore, subject to change.
Listeners, the world we live in is finite. It has boundaries. It does not extend indefinitely. It might seem that way if you are walking from one place to another that is far away, but get into an aircraft or a spaceship, and the same distance is covered in a short space of time. From outer space, the Earth is clearly seen as a finite mass with distinct borders. So, if the world is finite, of course, knowledge about the world is also finite. There may be a lot to know about it, but that knowledge still has a beginning and an end.
Compare that to the knowledge which Goddess Saraswati bestows. The knowledge which is attainable by her grace is infinite or eternal knowledge. It is unchanging spiritual knowledge. This type of knowledge fills a person with goodness. It makes the person want to rush to the aid of others, even without being asked to help. In fact, if we are blessed enough to, by the grace of Mother Saraswati, acquire that kind of spiritual knowledge, we should use it to transform ourselves into noble persons who are useful to society.
Sri Krishna was one such devotee of Goddess Saraswati who rushed to the aid of others without being asked. How can we call ourselves a devotee if we do not use our blessings for good purposes?
Inspired by all of this, and especially inspired by the teachings of Ganapati Swamiji or Pujya Appaji, today on Datta Arpanam, we will hear the story of Kuchela, the former classmate of Sri Krishna, and how Sri Krishna, that devotee of Goddess Saraswati, rushed to help Kuchela without even being asked to do so.
But as always, before beginning today's contemplation, let us join in worshipping the remover of obstacles, Lord Ganapati or Lord Vinayaka. The bhajan Vinayaka Vinayaka was composed and rendered by Pujya Appaji, and the words to it can be found by entering bhajan ID number 61 on the Bhajan Mala app or on the Bhajan Mala website www.bhajanmala.com.
After describing that Lord, Appaji sings prostrations to Lord Vinayaka, who removes all obstacles. He is known by the mantra syllable Gam. He grants Satchidananda or truth, knowledge and bliss. Once again everyone, the Bhajan ID number is 61.
Vinayaka, Vinayaka, Vighna Vinashaka, Vinayaka. 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 Vighna Vinashaka, Saukya Vidhayaka, Vishwavibhavaka, Vinayaka. Vighna Vinashaka, Saukya Vidhayaka, Vishwavibhavaka, Vinayaka. Vinayaka, Vinayaka, Vighna Vinashaka, వినాయక వినాయక వినాయక
విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
గౌరీతనయ వినాయక శంకర పాలిత వినాయక గౌరీతనయ
వినాయక శంకర పాలిత వినాయక
గజవదనాగే వినాయక మూషిక వాగన వినాయక
గజవదనాఘే వినాయక మూషక వాహన వినాయక
వినాయక వినాయక
వినాయక వినాయక విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
పితృభక్త వినాయక సూక్ష్మ సుబుద్ధి వినాయక
భక్త వినాయక సూక్ష్మ సుబుద్ధి వినాయక
విఘ్నాధీశ్వర వినాయక విశ్వరాధ్య వినాయక
విశ్వేశ్వర వినాయక
విశ్వరాధ్య వినాయక 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 వినాయక
వినాయక విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
మోదక హస్త వినాయక మోద విదాయ వినాయక
మోదక హస్త వినాయక
మోద విదాయ వినాయక చంద్రోల్లాసక వినాయక శాపిత చంద్ర వినాయక
చంద్రోల్లాసక వినాయక
శాపిత చంద్ర వినాయక 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 విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక 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 విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
వినాయక వినాయక విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
పునరుజ్జీవిత వినాయక పూర్ణ కృపాలయ వినాయక
పునరుజ్జీవిత వినాయక పూర్ణ కృపాలయ వినాయక
దానవ సంహార వినాయక దైవత రక్షక వినాయక
దానవ సంహార వినాయక దైవత రక్షక వినాయక
వినాయక వినాయక వినాయక వినాయక విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక వినాయక వినాయక
విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
బాహుజ దుష్క వినాయక భావమనోజ్ఞ వినాయక బాహుజ దుష్క
వినాయక భావమనోజ్ఞ వినాయక
పాశాంకుశధర వినాయక రథవరదాఢ్య వినాయక
పాశాంకుశధర వినాయక రథవరదాఢ్య వినాయక
వినాయక వినాయక
వినాయక వినాయక విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
చందన రంజిత వినాయక చందన రంజిత వినాయక రక్తాంబరధర వినాయక
చందన రంజిత వినాయక రక్తాంబరధర వినాయక
లంబోదరగే వినాయక వామన రూప వినాయక లంబోదరగే వినాయక
వామన రూప
వినాయక వినాయక
వినాయక విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
వినాయక
వినాయక విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
నాగాలంకృత వినాయక ఆ, నాగాలంకృత వినాయక ఆ,
నాగాలంకృత వినాయక
నానారూప వినాయక
నాగాలంకృత వినాయక
నానారూప వినాయక పురుషద్రూప వినాయక శిష్యవనాగే వినాయక
గురు సద్రూప వినాయక శిష్యవనాగే వినాయక
వినాయక వినాయక విఘ్న వినాశ వినాయక
వినాయక వినాయక విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
గంభీరాక్షర వినాయక వినాయక
గంభీరాక్షర వినాయక
గంభీరార్థ వినాయక
గంభీరార్థ వినాయక
గంభీరాక్షర వినాయక
గంభీరాక్షర వినాయక
గంభీరార్థ వినాయక
గంభీరార్థ వినాయక
ఓంకారాఖ్య వినాయక వక్రతుండ వినాయక
ఓంకారాఖ్య వినాయక
వక్రతుండ వినాయక సర్వాదే శ్రీ వినాయక సర్వాదే శ్రీ వినాయక సచ్చిదానంద వినాయక
సచ్చిదానంద వినాయక
వినాయక వినాయక వినాయక
వినాయక విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
వినాయక వినాయక
విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
విఘ్న వినాశక వినాయక
In the third charana of that bhajan, Ganapati Swamiji or Pujya Appaji described Lord Ganapati as the one who rules over the moon, but also as the one who holds a sweet in his hand, who bestows joy, and who makes the moon cheerful. And I couldn't help but think that these words are also indicative of the beauty of the bhajan itself as well. When we sing it, instead of being like a sweet in our hands, it is a sweet on the tips of our tongues. It definitely brings joy to both hear and sing it. And like Lord Ganapati makes the moon cheerful, so too the bhajans of Pujya Appaji can cheer us up on any day at any time. Such is their divine beauty.
You were just listening to Pujya Sri Swamiji here on Datta Arpanam. Thank you for tuning in to this Sunday morning devotional hour, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Pujya Sri Swamiji, and thanks to the sponsorship by Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Koke Supermart Limited. As promised, today on Saraswati Jayanti Day, reminding us of how a devotee of Mother Saraswati should be, you will hear the divine story of Sri Krishna, a devotee of Mother Saraswati and his former classmate Kuchela. As Pujya Appaji's heir apparent, Sri Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji has said, those who, with devotion, listen to this story of parched rice or the story of Kuchela will be freed from all worldly bondages. So everyone, stay tuned in to today's episode of Datta Arpanam to hear this uplifting story which starts now.
This story took place during the time when Sri Krishna was ruling over the kingdom of Dwaraka. Sudama was an old friend of Sri Krishna's. They had studied together at sage Sandipani's hermitage in their younger days.
The word Sudama means one who wears beautiful clothes. Yet, that same one who used to wear these beautiful clothes, with time, became the victim of the most horrible poverty. If one could find a picture of what poverty looked like, it would look like Sudama's home. His large family did not have enough clothing. They did not even have enough food for 2 square meals a day.
Because once his family grew as it did, Sudama ended up with only torn and dirty clothes. The once well-dressed Sudama, or Sri Dama as some devotees of Lord Vishnu address him, had now earned the title of Kuchela, or one who is poorly dressed.
Kuchela followed the austerity called Aparigraha, meaning he never asked anyone for anything. If something was offered unasked, he would accept it, but he himself never asked anyone for anything.
Kuchela's wife could not understand why her husband would not even use his great scholarship or his knowledge to earn some sort of income. One day, in desperation, she urged her husband to go visit his old dear friend Sri Krishna and to seek help from him.
Unwillingly, Kuchela, who, as you heard, did not like asking for anything, set out to visit Sri Krishna. Although he was not happy with the reason behind the visit, he still allowed himself to enjoy the happiness of knowing that he would see that divine being.
And listeners, before we move on, this is an important point to be taken away from the story. Pretty much any seemingly difficult or dreaded or unpleasant task in this world has an upside to it. You see, as Pujya Appaji has taught in the free app SGS posts, it is our own imagination which troubles us with negative shades. But if we remain positive, we will be trouble-free. At the very least, if you cannot find a silver lining in a difficult situation, remind yourself that you are being given an opportunity to settle some karmic debt. So be grateful that that opportunity has presented itself now in this birth, instead of being a reason why you have to be reborn.
And speaking of embracing opportunities to avoid rebirth, the sadhana known as Divya Nama Sankirtanam is one of the easiest and most enjoyable activities which can lead us towards moksha or liberation. So, with today being Saraswati Jayanti Day, let us join together and worship Goddess Saraswati through song. You can find the words to this energizing bhajan, Amba Bhavani Sharade, by entering bhajan ID number 515 on the Bhajanmala app or website.
Amba Bhavani, Sharada, Girvani and Vani are some of the other names of Divine Mother Saraswati which you will see appear in this bhajan.
The bhajan says, O dear Mother Sharada, Amba Bhavani, you are the universal mother or Jagadamba. You are pleased with the aesthetic essence of literature or the inherent beauty of literature. You drink the flavors of divine love and music or nada and enjoy the essence of Vedas.
Once again everyone, the bhajan ID number is 515.
Amba Bhavani Sharade, Jagadamba Bhavani Sharade.
Amba Bhavani Sharade, Jagadamba Bhavani
Sharade, Amba Bhavani Sharade, Jagadamba Bhavani Sharade.
Amba Bhavani Sharade, Jagadamba Bhavani Sharade.
Sahitya Rasapana Sarasa Ullasini,
Sahitya Rasapana Sarasa Ullasini,
Kavijana Bhushini Kama Vilochini,
Kavijana Bhushini Kama Vilochini.
Amba Bhavani Sharade, Jagadamba Bhavani Sharade.
Amba Bhavani Sharade, Jagadamba Bhavani Sharade.
Shringara Rasapana Vani Nirvani,
Shringara Rasapana Vani Nirvani,
Sarva Veda Rasapana Sarasa Ullasini,
Sarva Veda Rasapana Sarasa Ullasini.
Amba Bhavani Sharade, Jagadamba Bhavani Sharade.
Amba Bhavani Sharade,
Jagadamba Bhavani,
Sharade.
Amba Bhavani Sharade, Jagadamba Bhavani Sharade.
Amba Bhavani Sharade, Jagadamba Bhavani Sharade.
Sangeeta Nada Priya Nada Tanumayi,
Sangeeta Nada Priya
Nada Tanumayi, Ratnakara Shobhini, Rajiva Lochini,
Ratnahara Shobhini,
Rajiva Lochini. Vagme Vachali Vacham Gochari,
Vagme Vachali Vachama Gochari,
Pulla Lochini, Pullava Nandini,
Pullalochani, Pullavanandini.
Amba Bhavani Sharade, Jagadamba Bhavani Sharade.
Amba Bhavani Sharade, Jagadamba Bhavani Sharade.
హంసలోలిని సదా వాణి
సదావాణి
పణిగణభూషిణి ఋషిగణ సేవిత
నిగణభూషిణి రుచిగణ
సచ్చిదానందిని సాధు రక్షిణి
సచ్చిదానందిని సాధు రక్షిణి
నందిని ఆనందిని సచ్చిదానందిని నందిని ఆనందిని సచ్చిదానందిని సచ్చిదానందిని అంబా భవాని శారదే జగదంబా భవాని శారదే
అంబా భవాని శారదే జగదంబా భవాని శారదే
అంబా భవాని శారదే జగదంబా భవాని శారదే
అంబా భవాని శారదే
జగదంబా భవాని శారదే జగదంబా భవాని శారదే జగదంబా భవాని శారదే.
Listeners, this coming Tuesday, so the day after tomorrow, is Ratha Saptami. It is considered the best day of the year to perform sun worship, and so it is a day when, even more so than other days, it is recommended that you wake up, have a head bath, and offer sun worship before sunrise.
But if you are having trouble waking up early, or you're tempted to just hit snooze on the alarm, or you just lack the vigor to get out of bed, then just listen to that bhajan composed and rendered by Ganapati Swamiji, and it will jumpstart not only you but also your day.
What a powerhouse of a bhajan delivered by Energy Central himself, Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji. Thank you everyone for tuning in to this morning's episode of Datta Arpanam, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Pujya Sri Swamiji, and thanks to the sponsorship by Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited. Today you heard that when Sudama, the childhood friend of Sri Krishna, got older, as his family expanded, poverty befell them. Not inclined to ask anyone for anything, Sudama, who now came to be known as Kuchela because of his old and torn clothing, begrudgingly agreed to go to Sri Krishna and seek his help.
But how could he go empty-handed? If he was going to visit his friend, surely he should take something with him. And so Kuchela's wife somehow managed to find 3 fistfuls of stale parched rice, bundled it up, and gave her husband the gift to carry to Sri Krishna. And listeners, before we move on, Pujya Sri Swamiji has said that whenever we visit a pregnant woman, an old friend, or a child, we are not supposed to go empty-handed. We are learning this lesson from Kuchela as well, as he set out to see his friend Krishna.
Singing the praises of Sri Krishna, Kuchela walked all the way to Dwarka. And again we are learning from Kuchela. No matter what we are doing, whether we are eating, drinking, walking, exercising, watching TV, we should always have the name of God looping through our minds. Even if you do not chant His name out aloud all day long, let His name always play in your mind. With that, any task becomes a more pleasurable one. But not only that, Abhiji has said that remembering God with our dying breath is very difficult. It is only if we constantly practice by thinking of Him all the time with our waking breath that we stand a chance of remembering Him when our time on this earth draws to a close. But getting back to the story once again, arriving in Dwarka, Kuchela wondered how he could approach the royal court dressed as shabbily as he was.
Luckily, a group of Vedic scholars whom Kuchela knew was going to the court, and they greeted him. Seeing his predicament, they invited Kuchela to join their group and enter the royal quarters.
When they all reached the royal assembly, Kuchela, feeling ashamed, hid behind a pillar.
Sri Krishna, who along with his queen Rukmini had been on an indoor swing, recognized Kuchela by the luster in his eyes. The man was emaciated from a lack of food and was reduced to mere skin and bones.
Krishna ran to his friend, embraced him affectionately, and placed him on the swing where he was previously seated. Very lovingly, he washed Kuchela's feet and offered him the most elaborate hospitality.
And listeners, here, by the king Sri Krishna treating a poor person in tattered clothing with so much love and respect, not only is he teaching us that, regardless of differences in status in society, wealth, etc., our Hindu dharma says that we must treat a guest like God, but his actions also demonstrate the value of friendship and how friends should treat one another. Krishna not only showed Kuchela around the palace, but he even showed him the treasury. Then, after reminiscing about their childhood days spent together, Sri Krishna inquired about Kuchela's and his family's welfare.
Krishna expressed surprise that Kuchela, despite his state, seemed to be totally at peace and contented. To Sri Krishna, Kuchela seemed to be someone who had no desires, while he, Krishna, lamented his own situation of being amidst wealth and worldliness. And if you are wondering why Lord Krishna would lament his wealth, it is because, again as Appaji has taught in SGS posts, wealth can breed arrogance and greed. When we live a simple life, it is more likely to be a peaceful life.
Lord Krishna did not call his friend Kuchela the poorly dressed one. He still addressed his friend as Sudama and spoke about the greatness of their guru, Sandipani. He spoke of the glory of serving Guru.
Listeners, when one properly serves the Guru, he or she will earn the grace of Lord Krishna, the Jagat Guru. And there are many ways in which we can serve Guru. Participate in sadhanas ordained by him, support his ashramas, follow his instructions, spread his praises. These all count as serving Guru. But another simple way is to daily pray for the health and strength of his physical body, a body he took on to accomplish his mission of helping us and uplifting us.
Another simple way is by offering the merit of japam or worship to him. This costs us nothing and is a minuscule gesture compared to what Guru does for us. Yet, if the offering is made with love and humility, Guru is pleased. Let go of the doership associated with any offerings. Let go of the tendency to say, I am offering, or please accept my offering. Instead, practice meaningfully saying, please accept this offering.
May Sadgurudeva Pujya Appaji be pleased with the offering of this next bhajan. Please everyone, open the Bhajan Mala app or website to bhajan ID number 934 and join in worshipping the Jagat Guru Sri Krishna as an offering to Sadgurudeva Sri Swamiji.
Hari 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 Achyuta Ananta Sridhara Madhava Devadideva Panduranga Achyuta Ananta Sridhara Madhava Devadideva Panduranga Achyuta Ananta Krishna Vishnu Hari Govinda Gopala Krishna Vishnu Hari Govinda Gopala Tuji Narayana Tuji Narayana Tuji Narayana Namadhari Achyuta Ananta Sridhara Madhava Devadideva Panduranga Achyuta Ananta ಅಚ್ಯುತಾನಂತ ಅಚ್ಯುತಾನಂತ ಪ್ರದ್ಯುಮ್ನ ಕೇಶವ ವಾಮನ ಮುರಹಾರಿ ಪ್ರದ್ಯುಮ್ನ ಕೇಶವ ವಾಮನ ಮುರಹಾರಿ ನಾಮ ಸದಾ ಶಿವ ನಾಮ ಸದಾ ಶಿವ ನಾಮ ಸದಾ ಶಿವ ಶಾಂತ ರೂಪ ನಾಮ ಸದಾ ಶಿವ ನಾಮ ಸದಾ ಶಿವ ನಾಮ ಸದಾ ಶಿವ ಶಾಂತ ರೂಪ ಅಚ್ಯುತ ಅನಂತ ಶ್ರೀಧರ ಮಾಧವ ದೇವಾದಿ ದೇವ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ಅಚ್ಯುತ ಅನಂತ ಅಚ್ಯುತ ಅನಂತ ರೂಪಾತೀತ ಹರಿ ಕವಿ ಸಗುಣ ರೂಪಾತೀತ ಹರಿ ರೂಪಾತೀತ ಹರಿ ರೂಪಾತೀತ ಹರಿ ಕವಿ ಸಗುಣ ರೂಪಾತೀತ ಹರಿ ಕವಿ ಸಗುಣ ರೂಪಾತೀತ ಹರಿ ಕವಿ ಸಗುಣ ನಿರಂತರ ಧ್ಯಾನ ಕಾರೆ ನಾಮ ನಿರಂತರ 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 ಧ್ಯಾನ ಕಾರೆ ನಾಮ ಅಚ್ಯುತ ಅನಂತ ಶ್ರೀಧರ ಮಾಧವ ದೇವಾದಿ ದೇವ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ಅಚ್ಯುತ ಅನಂತ ಅಚ್ಯುತ ಅನಂತ ಅಚ್ಯುತ ಅನಂತ ಹರಿ ಹರಿ ವಿಠಲ 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 ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ವಿಠಲ 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 ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ಪರಮ ಪಾವನ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ಪುಂಡರೀಕ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ಪರಮ ಪಾವನ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ಪುಂಡರೀಕ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ಪುರಾಣ ಪುರುಷ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ಪುಣ್ಯ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ರಾಮ ರಾಮ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ವಿಠಲ 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 ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ವಿಠಲ ವಿಠಲ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ವಿಠಲ ವಿಠಲ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ವಿಠಲ 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 ವಿಠಲ
That recording was an old one. The album Nama Sankirtana was released all the way back in 2006. But while time ages most things, the bhajans of Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji never age. Their depth and beauty seem to increase each time we hear them.
You were just listening to Pujya Sri Swamiji here on Datta Arpanam. Thank you for tuning in to today's offering, which is coming to you on 103.1 FM through the grace of Pujya Sri Swamiji, and thanks to the sponsorship by Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, Valini's Drug Mart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited. Today you have been hearing the story of how Sudama or Kuchela, while happy to see his childhood friend Krishna, after the urging of his wife, unwillingly went to visit Krishna to seek his help. After Krishna gave his friend a warm welcome, they sat to talk.
Krishna remembered how their guru, Sandipani, once sent the two boys to the forest to collect the sacred firewood sticks or twigs for Homa. They searched all day, but still failed to collect enough material. Nighttime reached. A fierce storm developed, and the two boys got caught in it. Drenched to the bone, they sat shivering under a tree. Meanwhile, their guru got anxious and came looking for them.
When the boys had walked the long distance from the ashrama into the forest, Sudama had packed a bundle of parched rice to eat. As he ate by himself, Krishna asked for some, saying that he was also hungry. Sudama, however, refused to share his food with his friend on that day.
And even on another occasion as well, while taking the cows out to graze in Gokula, Sudama, who again had parched rice with him, had refused to share his food with Sri Krishna.
Now, getting back to the recollections Krishna was making about that day when he and Sudama were caught in the storm while out collecting sticks for the Homa. Guru Sandipani, who, as you heard a little while ago, went into the forest looking for the boys, found Krishna and Sudama, and, appreciating their dedication to service to Guru, showered immense grace upon them.
But Sudama had not always served his Guru as he should have, and so, because of this, he was deprived of the complete grace of his Guru.
Sri Krishna, without directly mentioning it, made Sudama recollect his greed and miserliness in not sharing his food with his hungry friend. He picked up on the stale smell of parched rice and asked to have some now to eat.
Krishna found the bundle that Sudama had hidden in shame. He took a fistful and ate it. As he was about to have a second helping, Rukmani stopped him by holding his arm firmly and saying, "Enough."
Had Krishna eaten the second helping, all of his wealth would have been transferred to Kuchela, and perhaps Rukmini would have become the servant to Kuchela's wife.
Listeners, whatever one offers to God, even if it is very small, that offering still brings multifold returns. Be it a fruit, a leaf, a flower, or even just water, if it is offered with total love and devotion, God accepts it as a grand feast and feels immensely pleased. Sri Krishna himself said this exact thing when, in the 26th shloka of chapter 9 of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he said, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupahartam ashnani prayatatmanaha.
But it is not just material offerings we should be making. As the Lord went on to say in the next shloka, so in the 27th shloka of chapter 9 of Bhagavad Gita,
Yat karoshi yadashnasi, yat juhoshi dadasi yata, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam.
Here, Sri Krishna is saying to Arjuna, and also to us, to offer to him, meaning the Supreme Lord or Paramatman, every action we perform, every comfort we enjoy, and every homa, charity or penance we perform.
And why should we do this? Well, remember how earlier in today's program you heard that Sri Krishna, the devotee of Goddess Saraswati, rushes to help others before being asked? Well, Sri Krishna, anticipating the question of why offer everything to him, without being asked, preemptively gave the answer, again in the 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, when in Shloka 28 he said, Shubha Shubha Pale Revam Mokshyase Karma Bandhanaihi Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mamupeshyasi. Arjuna, said the Lord in that shloka, by offering every action, you will become a Jnana Yogi and a Karma Yogi. This will free you from the karmic bondage which causes joy and sorrow, and you will obtain me, the Supreme Lord.
Listeners, devotees, let us again join in an offering to the Supreme Lord as we join once again in Divya Nama Sankirtanam. Please open the Bhajan Mala app or website to Bhajan ID number 1127 and join in praising Lord Hanuman, who crossed the ocean, saved Lakshmana's life, brought joy to Sita Devi, and did all of this as an offering to his Lord, Lord Rama.
श्री हनुमान जय हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान
श्री हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान
श्री हनुमान जय हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान
श्री हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान
जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान अमित पराक्रम मारुति नाम
अमित पराक्रम मारुति नाम
अजित महाकृति अति सुखधाम
अजित महाकृति अति सुखधाम
लक्ष्मण जीवन कारण वीरा
लक्ष्मण जीवन कारण वीरा
लंघित सागर सुचिमति धीरा
लंघित सागर सुचिमति धीरा
श्री हनुमान जय हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान
श्री हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान
जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान सुग्रीवांगद वंदित पादा
सुग्रीवांगद वंदित पादा
श्रीरामा प्रभु लिंगित देहा
श्रीराम प्रभु लिंगित देहा
सीता शोक विनाशन चतुरा
सीता शोक विनाशन चतुरा
सुंदर शुभकर जयंकरा
सुंदर शुभकर जयंकरा
श्री हनुमान जय हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान
श्री हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान
जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान भूत प्रेत पिशाच भयंकर भूत प्रेत पिशाच भयंकर भूगृहदन पशु हितंकरा
भूगृहदन पशु हितंकरा
गरुड क्रोड नृसिंहयास्य हरिमुख बहुमुख पंचमुख श्री हनुमान जय हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान
श्री हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहु
जय कपिवर बहुबलवान शमय चिरंतन दमय पुरातन
क्षमय चिरंतन दमय पुरातन
सच्चिदानंद कृति धान
सच्चिदानंद कृतिभान
शमय चिरंतन दमय पुरातन
क्षमय चिरंतन दमय पुरातन
सच्चिदानंद कृति धान
सच्चिदानंद कृतिभान
श्री हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान
श्री हनुमान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान
जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान जय जय कपिवर बहुबलवान 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 बहुबलवान
Shamaya Chirantana Damaya Puratana. May Lord Hanuman, that one who grants eternal tranquility and restraint of the senses, bless each and every one of you with these divine qualities. Thank you for tuning into today's episode of Datta Arpanam. Today you have been hearing that when Sri Krishna's friend Sudama came to visit him to ask for his help, while reflecting on the days they had spent together as children in the Gurukula, Sri Krishna reminded Sudama of times when Sudama refused to share his food. Having done so, the Lord then asked Sudama for some of the stale, parched rice he, Sudama, had ashamedly brought with him. The Lord then lovingly partook of that rice.
With loving words, Krishna, after some time, bade farewell to Sudama, who left without asking for any favors. Kuchela, as Sudama came to be known when poverty befell him, Kuchela, who did not like asking for anything, felt that Krishna did not give him rich gifts because he was afraid that the riches would make him, Kuchela, proud and arrogant.
And listeners, even in this way of thinking, Kuchela teaches us such a valuable lesson. He did not leave empty-handed, blaming Krishna for that. He left empty-handed thinking that Krishna had been acting in his best interest. He saw his own shortcomings as the reason why he was leaving empty-handed. And this is something we should always remember. When things do not go the way we hoped, we must never blame others, but instead see what lessons that situation taught us about ourselves. Instead of begrudging someone else, we should see what lessons their actions teach us and also try to see things from the other person's perspective.
Kuchela made his way back to his hometown. When he finally reached where his home should have been, there was no sight of it. It had mysteriously disappeared.
Kuchela could not fathom what might have happened. As he stood where his home should have been, instead of there being a small hut, there was a huge mansion. From it, a woman in rich attire came out to greet him. Kuchela recognized her to be his wife. His children then came out also dressed in fine clothing and jewelry.
Kuchela's wife joyfully explained to him that by Lord Krishna's grace they had now become affluent or wealthy.
Kuchela, however, did not wish to change the way he dressed. He never put on silk garments. All he prayed for was to forever remain in contemplation of the Divine Lord. He spent his time constantly singing the praises of Sri Krishna and finally reached Vaikunta, the abode of Lord Vishnu.
Listeners, Kuchela may have gone from being comfortable to poor to wealthy, But how admirable and inspiring it is that his material wealth did not distract him from the true goal of this life, to experience oneness with the Supreme Lord.
Jai Shri Krishna, the friend of Kuchela. Everyone, Sri Swamiji has said that when you are in difficulties, remember this story with the faith that Lord Krishna will remove all difficulties, and he will.
And on that poignant note, that touching note, today's episode of Datta Arpanam begins to draw to a close.
Pranams and gratitude are offered at the divine feet of beloved Sadgurudeva, Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji and Sri Datta Vijayananda Tirtha Swamiji, without whose teachings, compassion, love, guidance and music, this program would not exist.
Pranams to you, Puja Appaji and Sri Swamiji. Kindly forgive any errors which may have been committed in preparing or in sharing today's episode of Datta Arpanam, and please guide us to avoid such errors in the future.
Special thanks are extended to the staff at 103.1 FM and to the sponsors of Datta Arpanam: Valini's Drug Mart Limited, Ramlal Educational Institute, Debe Supermart Limited, and Kokie Supermart Limited. And of course, dear listener, an extra special thank you is extended to you for sharing this devotional hour with us.
If you would like to listen to today's program again, check out the Datta Arpanam Facebook page, where by tomorrow night, the YouTube link for today's episode will be shared.
Once again, everyone, thank you for tuning in today. You are invited to please tune in to 103.1 FM again next Sunday at 6 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time for another episode of Datta Arpanam, a showcase of the life, music and teachings of His Holiness Paramapujya Sri Ganapati Satchidananda Swamiji.
Jai Guru Datta.
Shri Guru Datta. Harihi Om Tat Sat.
श्री गणेशाय नमः श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीपादवल्लभ नरसिंह सरस्वती श्री गुरुदत्तात्रेयाय नमः दत्तात्रेयं महात्मानं वरदं भक्तवत्सलं प्रपन्नार्तिहरं वन्दे स्मर्तृगामी सनोवतु दीनबन्धुं कृपासिन्धुं सर्वकारणकारणं सर्वरक्षाकरं वन्दे स्मर्तृगामी सनोवतु शरणागतदीनार्थ परित्राणपरायणं नारायणं विभुं वन्दे स्मर्तृगामी सनोवतु सर्वानर्थहरं देवं सर्वमङ्गलमङ्गलं सर्वक्लेशहरं वन्दे स्मर्तृगामी सनोवतु ब्रह्मण्यं धर्मतत्त्वज्ञं भक्तकीर्तिविवर्धनं भक्ताभीष्टप्रदं वन्दे स्मर्तृगामी सनोवतु शोषणं पापपङ्कस्य दीपनं ज्ञानतेजसः तापप्रशमनं वन्दे स्मर्तृगामी सनोवतु सर्वरोगप्रशमनं सर्वपीडानिवारणं विपदुद्धरणं वन्दे स्मर्तृगामी सनोवतु जन्म संसारबन्धघ्नं स्वरूपानन्ददायकं निःश्रेयसपदं वन्दे स्मर्तृगामी सनोवतु जयलाभयशक्काम धातुर्दत्तस्य यस्तवं भोगमोक्षप्रदस्येमं प्रपठेत् सकृती भवेत् श्रीगणेशाय नमः श्रीसरस्वत्यै नमः श्रीपादवल्लभ नरसिंह सरस्वती श्रीगुरुदत्तात्रेयाय नमः।
ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत्।